say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Officer Jennings. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Mayor of the City of New York, the Honorable Bill de Blasio.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is very good to see you tonight. You know, Commissioner Neal and I are going around to National Night Out celebrations. And I call them celebrations because we have a lot to celebrate together. And we're going all around the city tonight. So I get to see how every community is doing their National Night Out. This is the only one that has a climbing wall. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. My friends, National Night Out is a chance for us to celebrate the achievements. Everyone here has been part of making this community safer. Everybody is part of this, working shoulder to shoulder with the men and women of the NYPD. And I've got to tell you, there is a lot to be proud of, because what everyone here is doing, civilians and members of our uniformed service alike, is we're doing something very simple. We're driving down crime more every single year. And everybody should be proud of a fact that's almost unbelievable for a lot of us who've been around for a long time. But it's true. Today, New York City is the safest big city in America. Everyone has contributed to it. And I want to thank some of the leaders who deserve our special appreciation. First of all, you're going to hear from the Commissioner in a moment. I have to tell you the strategy that he created and brought to life for neighborhood policing. Really creating a deeper bond between police and community. Because the idea was that police would get to work in a small part of a neighborhood, would get to know the members of the neighborhood, would get to really build a relationship, and the members of the neighborhood would get to build a relationship with their police officers, and it would change the way we police. It would make us better, not only being safe, but everyone understanding each other and supporting each other. That vision of neighborhood policing was created by our Commissioner, Jimmy O'Neill. Let's thank him for all he has done. And here in Brooklyn South Command, there's a lot to be proud of. I'm going to give you a fact later on to prove my point, but right now, let's thank the chief who's done such a great job here, Chief Stephen Powers, for his leadership. And there are civilians who have gone the extra mile and work to help our police learn what will help the community best, what will be the best approach, what will make us safer. And I particularly want to thank the president of the 60th Precinct Council, Steve Froelich, for all his great work. I want to ask your appreciation for two members of my administration who worked very hard in this community and so many other communities to help us be safer. My Commissioner for Community Affairs, Marco Carrion, and the Director for the Mayor's Office to Prevent Gun Violence, Eric Cumberbatch. Thank you. And then here in Brooklyn, helping us to stay safe, let's thank our District Attorney, Eric Gonzalez. And then representing this community, the stylish Pamela Harris. And your council member's trying to be as stylish as Pamela Harris. He's getting there. Your council member, Mark Traeger. Now look, in Brooklyn South, just in the last year, my friends, just in the last year in Brooklyn South, crime is down almost 5%. Just in 1 year, crime is down almost 5%. But here's something even more amazing. In Brooklyn South, This year compared to last year, shootings are down 26%. Isn't that extraordinary? Now, as I said, some of us have been around a while, and we understand what an amazing achievement it is. I see former Councilman Mike Nelson, my good friend. You understand. We've come a long way, baby. What it means is that so much work went into making communities safe. And I've got to remind you, there was a time not so long ago in New York City where people thought we couldn't get safe. They thought we couldn't bring police and community together. What we're talking about here is based on years and years of work, hard work, but it's been working. And let's give a huge round of applause to the men and women of the NYPD for that extraordinary achievement. And I got to remind you that another thing that's really powerful is back in the old days, police officers, of course, came from the neighborhoods and the boroughs that they worked in. Well, more and more that's happening again. For the first time in a long time, more than half the officers in the NYPD live in the 5 boroughs, and that is good for New York City. So, I told you about what's happened in the city. We've gotten safer. I told you what's happened in Brooklyn South, the amazing progress. Now let's talk about the 60th Precinct, which has been helping to lead the way. And this is one of New York City's greatest communities. It's a legendary community, right? People all over the world know about Coney Island for good reason. People here have a lot of spirit, a lot of strength, a lot of resiliency. We saw it after Hurricane Sandy. We saw it when times were tough, when the economy wasn't so good, when there's a lot of crime. People in this community fought back. And the success today is, again, everyone's victory. So I want to honor the 60th Precinct. I have a proclamation, and I'd like to call forward Inspector William Taylor. Okay, I'm looking here. He's looking there. All right, there we go. We didn't rehearse this. Inspector, this proclamation is on behalf of all New Yorkers, 8.5 million people, because what we're celebrating tonight is the achievement of your precinct in making the city safer. And it is an extraordinary, again, we've come so far because of people like you, leaders like you, and the men and women under your command. And I have to remind you, everyone, 34 years ago, they started National Night Out because things were really tough. And people said, we got to band together to fight back. Now, 34 years later, we are celebrating the lowest crime we've ever known, and we're going to be back next year to celebrate an even safer city. Let's thank all the men and women of the 60th Precinct. Thank you, sir. Well done. Well done.